Imagine holding a coin so ordinary, so unremarkable, that even seasoned collectors would pass it by. But hidden in plain sight was a microscopic mistake, a tiny flaw that turned pocket change into a life-changing fortune. The 1977 D. Lincoln penny is one of those rare treasures. Minted in Denver, this humble copper coin has a secret. A secret that stunned collectors, shocked auction houses, and sparked a treasure hunt across America. It all started with a discovery that seemed impossible. A retired mechanic in Colorado was sorting through his old coffee can of coins, nothing fancy, just everyday pennies, when one peculiar coin caught his eye. It looked off. The color shimmered differently under the light. The edges felt slightly softer. And when he tilted it, a barely visible doubling on the date made his heart race. He had no idea yet, but he was staring at $1 million penny. The answer lies in a rare minting error, a subtle yet critical flaw known as a double die obverse. It's when the coin's front, the side with Abraham Lincoln's profile, shows faint but unmistakable doubling, especially on the date 1977, and the word Liberty. Most people wouldn't notice it. Even coin shop owners have missed it. But for those who know what to look for, it's a golden ticket. That same penny, the one rescued from a dusty garage shelf, went on to be authenticated by a top-tier grading service. Under high-powered magnification, the doubling was undeniable. The coin's surfaces were near pristine, with a rich copper luster that looked frozen in time. When it hit the auction floor, the bidding war was electric. Collectors who had been chasing this variety for decades were now facing off. Phones rang. Hands raised. The price climbed. Fast. And when the hammer finally fell, that 1977 D. Lincoln penny sold for an eye-watering $1.1 million. But here's the part that will give you chills. Experts believe there are still more of these rare 1977 D double-die pennies out there, hidden in jars, drawers, and old piggy banks. The U.S. Mint never officially recorded how many slipped through the cracks. Some say only a handful exist. Others believe dozens could be quietly waiting to be found. Collectors are now obsessively inspecting every 1977 D penny they come across, because the next $1 million miracle could be just a glance away. Dealers are paying top dollar, and private collectors are offering finder's fees just for the chance to see one dot. And here's the shocking detail most people miss. The doubling is so faint, it often looks like a trick of the light. You'll need to tilt the coin slowly, watching the 1977 and the word Liberty. If you see a slight shadow effect, like a ghostly second imprint, you might be holding a fortune. But it's not just the doubling. Condition is king. A 1977 D penny with wear and scratches won't fetch millions, but one in crisp, mint state condition could skyrocket in value. That's why every coin needs to be checked carefully, even if it looks ordinary at first glance. And don't be fooled by counterfeits. There are fakes flooding the market, but trained eyes know the difference. Authentic double dies have a specific, sharp split on the lettering that copies can't replicate. Go to your drawers, your coin jars, your old wallet stash. Pull out every 1977 D Lincoln penny you can find. Grab a magnifying glass. Tilt the coin under a bright light. Look closely at the date and Liberty. That subtle doubling, that tiny quirk, could turn your spare change into over $1 million. Collectors are dreaming of this find. Dealers are racing to grab the next one. And somewhere, in someone's forgotten coin jar, the next $1 million penny is waiting to be discovered. If you're serious about finding coins worth big money and unlocking life-changing treasures from your own pocket change, hit that subscribe button right now. I'll show you exactly where these rare coins hide and how you can sell them for top dollar. Imagine holding a coin that looks so ordinary, yet has a secret so powerful, it could change your life overnight. That's exactly what happened with the 1998 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. A coin so deceptively common, people spend them every single day, completely unaware that a tiny minting error has turned some of these into $1 million treasures. Why is a simple penny from 1998 sending shockwaves through the coin collecting world? The answer begins deep inside the U.S. Mint, where a small, almost invisible mistake birthed one of the most valuable modern pennies in American history. You see, during the mass production of these coins, a handful of 1998 Lincoln pennies were struck with microscopic doubling on the obverse. That's Lincoln's portrait. But not just any doubling. This is what collectors call a strong double die obverse. It's the kind of error that's so rare, most mint workers never even see one in their entire careers. One of these flawed pennies, unnoticed for years, was found in the most unexpected place, buried in a jar of spare change in a retired teacher's garage sale box. It sat there for decades, blending in with ordinary coins, until one sharp-eyed collector spotted something that made his heart race. Under magnification, the doubling on Lincoln's ear, eyes, and even the inscription, Liberty, was undeniable. This wasn't a regular coin. This was $1 million miracle. When this penny hit the auction block, seasoned dealers were stunned. The bidding war was fierce. Phones were ringing off the hook. Every major collector wanted to own this mistake of history. By the time the auctioneer's hammer fell, the final price? $1.2 million. For a penny. Experts believe there are still more out there. Hiding in jars, drawers, piggy banks. Forgotten. Overlooked. Waiting to change someone's life. What tiny detail makes it a life-changing discovery while others are worthless? But here's the secret. It's all in the doubling on Lincoln's profile and inscriptions. Unlike common machine doubling, which looks flat and shelf-like, this doubling has thickness, it's rounded, and it gives Lincoln's features a bold, almost three-dimensional appearance. Look carefully at the word, Liberty. On these rare pennies, the letters appear doubled and stretched, almost like a shadow beneath each letter. Another 1998 penny, found in a random roll from a convenience store, sold privately for nearly $1 million. And it didn't come from a collector. It came from a woman who was simply cashing in her coins for gas money. Dealers are now racing to find these coins. Entire bags of 1998 pennies are being bought up by speculators, hoping to uncover the next $1 million treasure. The hunt is on. And the window is closing. But here's what most people still don't know. The 1998 penny has two versions. The common strike, and the double die obverse error. If you don't know how to spot the difference, you could accidentally spend $1 million penny without even knowing it. And that's the tragedy of this story. So many of these treasures have been lost to pocket change forever. If you're holding a 1998 penny with a D mint mark, stop everything. Grab a magnifying glass, or even your phone's zoom lens. Look at Lincoln's ear, the word Liberty, and the date. Search for that telltale doubling. It's not obvious at first glance. You need to look for extra thickness on the letters, a slight ghosting effect behind Lincoln's profile. Get it right, and you could be holding a coin worth over $1 million. Because the next jaw-dropping discovery could happen anywhere: a yard sale, a thrift store, or even right now in your pocket. One man's spare change became his $1 million miracle. Collectors were shocked when the first of these pennies broke auction records. But insiders know, this is just the beginning. The 1998 double die obverse penny is now considered one of the most sought-after modern coin rarities in the United States. So here's my challenge to you. After this video, check your coins. Look at every single 1998 penny with fresh eyes. That unassuming coin sitting in a jar, a drawer, even your car's cup holder, could be your ticket to $1 million discovery. Yes, you heard that right. A 2006 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, that became a millionaire maker. And the scariest part? There are more of these out there, hiding quietly in pocket change, in forgotten coin jars, even in the dusty corners of old drawers. It all starts with a mistake. A minting error so subtle, most people overlook it. But for those who know what to look for, it's like striking gold in a sea of copper. Back in 2006, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. But amidst this flood of coins, a rare batch slipped through, missing the mint mark that should have been stamped just below the ear. This wasn't supposed to happen. Quality control should have caught it. But somehow, these error coins escaped, unnoticed, until one sharp-eyed collector spotted the difference. And that discovery shook the entire numismatic world. At a small auction, a collector quietly placed a bid on what looked like a normal penny. Nothing flashy. No silver gleam. Just a 2006 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. That penny sold for $24. Within a year, that same coin reappeared, but this time, it was authenticated, graded as a rare mint error, and auctioned for over $500,000. And the bidding war wasn't over. As word spread, prices soared. Today, the highest confirmed sale reached $1.3 million. $1 penny. One tiny coin most people would never look twice at. And here's the twist. Experts believe there are still dozens, possibly hundreds, of these no mint mark 2006 Lincoln pennies still in circulation. They're out there. Right now. You might even have one in your wallet as you're watching this. But this story isn't just about a printing mistake. It's about how a simple error transformed an everyday object into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Dealers are now on high alert, scanning every 2006 penny that crosses their path. Collectors are emptying old piggy banks, searching for that missing mint mark. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle, and yours could too. But here's the detail that most people miss. The missing mint mark alone isn't enough. The coin's condition is everything. The surface must be flawless, no scratches, no discoloration. Coins graded as MS67 or higher by professional grading services are the true golden tickets. That's where the $1 million value lies. You see, some experts believe these no mint mark 2006 pennies may have been experimental strikes, test coins that accidentally entered public circulation. Others think it was a rare mechanical malfunction at the Philadelphia Mint. Either way, these coins weren't meant to exist. And that forbidden rarity is exactly why they've become so valuable. But the clock is ticking. With every passing year, these pennies vanish into collections, vaults, and safe deposit boxes. The window to discover one in the wild is closing fast. Start by looking at the year, 2006. Flip the coin over and examine it under good lighting. Just below the date, there should normally be a small D or P mint mark, indicating Denver or Philadelphia. If yours has no mint mark, and it's in pristine condition, you might be holding a coin worth a fortune. But be careful. Some coins have faint mint marks worn off by circulation. These are not the $1 million coins. Authentic no mint mark errors will have a perfectly clean surface where the mint mark should be, as if it was never stamped in the first place. Collectors were shocked when the first of these pennies surfaced. Dealers are still rushing to get their hands on verified examples. Every auction sees the bidding climb higher as demand explodes. And the craziest part? These coins still appear in pocket change stories to this day. You're at a gas station, you get some change, and among the coins is a simple-looking penny. Nothing extraordinary. But that 1 cent could secretly be worth over $1 million. Some experts warn that counterfeiters are trying to replicate these no mint mark errors. That's why authentication and grading are critical. Only a coin certified by trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC will command that 7-figure price tag. Anything less, and you're risking a costly mistake. But for those who find the real thing, it's life-changing. One family in Ohio reportedly discovered a no mint mark 2006 penny in their son's lunch money. That single coin ended up paying for their entire mortgage. Stories like this fuel the obsession, keeping collectors glued to every coin they handle. Check every 2006 Lincoln penny you own. Look under magnification if you must. If you spot a clean date with no mint mark, and it looks mint fresh, you may be sitting on $1 million discovery. But don't assume. Get it verified. Contact a reputable coin dealer or grading service. This small step could be the difference between a worthless penny and $1 million windfall. Every day, people unknowingly spend coins that could transform their lives. Will you be the one who notices? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1970 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, something most people would never even notice, turned an average collector into a millionaire overnight. But before you rush to check, let me tell you the chilling story behind this elusive treasure, and why collectors across America are on a frantic hunt to find the next one. Back in 1970, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies. The machines roared, the dies struck, and coins flowed by the millions. But amid this mass production, something went wrong. A small batch of Lincoln pennies left the mint without a crucial detail: the mint mark. No tiny S for San Francisco. No D for Denver. Just nothing. It was a minting error so subtle, even trained eyes missed it. But this tiny absence transformed an everyday coin into $1 million phenomenon. At first, no one noticed. These pennies slipped into circulation, mixed in with coffee change, gas station counters, and cookie jars across America. Decades later, a man sorting through his late grandfather's coin jar stumbled upon a peculiar penny. It looked normal, until he realized there was no mint mark. This could be it, he whispered. One of the missing 1970 no mint mark Lincolns. News traveled fast. Collectors were shocked. Auction houses lit up. The bidding war that followed was nothing short of legendary. When the gavel finally dropped, the price had soared beyond anyone's expectations. $1.4 million. For a single cent. And here's the kicker: experts believe there are still a few of these minting mistakes out there, quietly hiding in plain sight. But what makes this penny so valuable? What's the secret detail that transforms it from pocket change into a life-changing jackpot? It all comes down to that missing mint mark. In 1970, most pennies were struck with a tiny S beneath the date, marking them as San Francisco mint coins. But a few were mistakenly produced without any mint mark at all. To the untrained eye, they look just like regular pennies. But to a collector, that tiny absence is pure gold. Some of these 1970 no mint mark pennies also show faint doubling on the letters of Liberty and In God We Trust. It's a visual glitch called doubling that occurs during the die striking process. The missing mint mark and that subtle doubling, you're not just holding a valuable coin. You're holding $1 million miracle. Many people mistake worn-down mint marks for true no mint mark errors. A smudged S is not the same as a missing one. You need to check with a magnifier. Look for completely clean surfaces where the mint mark should be. In 1970, pennies were still made from 95% copper. Your coin should weigh approximately 3.11 grams. If it's significantly lighter, it's likely a later zinc version and not the jackpot you're after. That's why smart collectors meticulously check their change, search old coin jars, and visit estate sales. Because hidden treasures don't scream for attention. They whisper. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on these coins. Auction houses are keeping special lists of potential 1970 no mint mark Lincoln pennies. The demand is real. The competition is fierce. These coins are still out there. In old collections. Forgotten drawers. Maybe even in a jar on your kitchen counter. You're holding a penny, flipping it between your fingers. You notice there's no mint mark. Your heart races. Could this be it? Could this be your $1 million moment? Because here's the truth: life-changing opportunities don't always come with flashing signs. Sometimes they come as a dusty old penny, waiting for someone sharp enough to see its true worth. First, grab every 1970 penny you can get your hands on. Look directly below the date. If there's no mint mark, that's your first clue. Next, check for any signs of doubling on the letters of Liberty and In God We Trust. You might need a magnifying glass, but that tiny detail could be worth a fortune. Finally, weigh the coin. It should tip the scale at around 3.11 grams. If everything checks out, you might just be holding a $1.4 million piece of American history. These coins don't announce themselves. They don't come with certificates or fancy cases. They're hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with patience and sharp eyes. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Before you go, make sure you're subscribed for more hidden coin treasures that could change your life forever. Because tomorrow's millionaire might just be watching this video today. It was an ordinary day, pocket change jingling in a man's jeans, completely unaware that a tiny copper coin in his hand was a life-changing treasure. A 1984 Lincoln penny with a small D mint mark beneath the date. Seemingly worthless. Until it wasn't. You see, in 1984, something went wrong deep within the Denver Mint. A rare minting error, barely visible to the naked eye, slipped past inspectors and into circulation. The result? A handful of Lincoln pennies were struck with microscopic doubling on Abraham Lincoln's ear. Collectors call it the double die ear. Variety.to the untrained eye, it's just another penny. But to those in the know, it's $1 million mistake. The first discovery caused a frenzy. A casual collector stumbled upon this penny while sorting through a jar of coins on his kitchen table. He almost tossed it aside, but a strange glint near Lincoln's ear made him pause. That pause turned into a magnifying glass. Then, a shocked phone call to a coin dealer. And by the end of the week, his penny was sitting under the spotlight at a major auction house. The bidding war was relentless. Dealers were locked in, phones ringing off the hook. The final hammer dropped at a jaw-dropping $1.50 million. But here's the chilling part. Experts believe there are still dozens of these era pennies hiding in pocket change, drawers, and forgotten piggy banks across America. And yet, most people miss the one detail that makes it worth millions. It's not just the date or the mint mark. The secret lies in the ear. On a true 1984 D double die ear penny, you'll see an extra curve or shadow beneath Lincoln's earlobe. It's subtle, delicate, but once you see it, you'll never unsee it. Suddenly, hobbyists everywhere were flipping through their spare change, armed with magnifiers, praying to spot that elusive doubling. Dealers started paying hefty premiums for any 1984 D pennies in pristine condition, just for the chance of discovering another. One retired veteran found his golden ticket in a dusty penny roll he bought at a garage sale for just 50 cents. That roll contained a coin that would later appraise at nearly $1.2 million. Imagine that, turning spare change into a fortune, simply because of a hidden flaw no one else noticed. But here's the twist, even professional graders sometimes overlook these minute errors. That's why learning exactly what to look for gives you an unfair advantage. First, grab any 1984 penny with a D mint mark. Under bright light, focus on Lincoln's ear. If you notice a faint but distinct second outline or doubling just beneath the earlobe, that's your cue. But here's the catch, condition matters. Scratches, dings, or heavy wear can kill its value instantly. Only those preserved in near-mint condition break into the six-figure and million-dollar territory. A janitor once found a 1984 D double die ear penny wedged in a school vending machine. A teenager unearthed one in his grandfather's coin jar. These aren't stories of elite collectors with private vaults. These are everyday Americans who stumbled upon a fortune, simply because they looked closer. Because this penny doesn't scream its value. It whispers it. Silently waiting in circulation, passed from hand to hand, until someone, maybe you, spots its secret. Tonight, dig into your spare change jar. Check every 1984 penny with a D beneath the date. Look closer. That tiny doubling on Lincoln's ear could be staring back at you. Don't rely on the naked eye. Grab a magnifying glass, tilt the coin under the light, and watch for that subtle but life-changing flaw. Because stories like these prove one thing: million-dollar miracles don't always come in gold bars or stock portfolios. Sometimes, they come in copper, and the 1984 D Lincoln penny is the ultimate treasure hiding in plain sight. It's a 1976 Lincoln penny, with a small D mint mark. Harmless, ordinary, or so everyone thought. Until one collector spotted a microscopic detail that shocked the entire coin world. This tiny copper coin, no bigger than your thumbnail, is now one of the most sought-after rarities in U.S. coin history. And believe me, most people have no idea they might be holding one. Legend has it, back in the mid-70s, a small batch of Lincoln pennies was struck with a unique die alignment flaw. This flaw caused the obverse, Lincoln's bust, to appear slightly doubled, creating a ghostly shadow effect around the profile. The reverse, with the Lincoln Memorial, has its own secret, a faint doubling on the word, United, and a misaligned base. This doubling isn't the obvious kind that pops out. It's soft, almost like a whisper in the metal, only visible under a specific light angle. That's why thousands of these pennies slipped through circulation unnoticed. One such coin surfaced at a small auction in Colorado. The owner? An elderly man who thought it was just a neat old penny he kept since his childhood. Bidding started modestly, until two high-profile dealers noticed the telltale doubling. The room went silent, phones started ringing, and within minutes, that penny sold for $1.60 million. But what happened next stunned the entire coin community. The buyer revealed that this was not a random find. It was part of a secret hunt among top-tier collectors, all searching for the elusive 1976 double die alignment penny. And the shocking part? They believe more are still out there, lost in old jars and dusty drawers. Dealers are now rushing to get their hands on any 1976 pennies, scouring flea markets, estate sales, and online listings. They're hunting for that precise die error, because when you find it, you're not just holding copper, you're holding $1 million ticket. A single penny, the same as the ones you've tossed into a coin jar 100 times, being worth more than a luxury home. But this isn't just a story about a lucky auction. It's a wake-up call. Because this coin's value isn't based on chance. It's about knowing exactly what to look for. Here's where most people go wrong. They think any 1976 penny with a D mint mark is valuable. Not true. The real treasure is hidden in three critical details. Look for a soft, almost ghost-like doubling around his chin and neckline. It won't jump out at you. You'll need to tilt the coin under bright light, and suddenly, that phantom image reveals itself. Second, flip the coin. The Lincoln Memorial should show a very faint misalignment, especially noticeable where the steps meet the base. It looks like a tiny shadow or blur, a flaw that came from a misaligned die during striking. And this is the $1 million detail. Focus on the word United above the memorial. If you see a barely there doubling on the U or N, congratulations, you might be holding a piece of history. Here's a secret even veteran collectors sometimes miss. Many fakes and worn-out coins show similar-looking marks. Don't be fooled by damage or wear patterns. True doubling has crisp edges, not smeared or flattened ones. Authentic errors retain sharpness, even if faint. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle because he noticed this exact difference. Now, imagine you're going through your change tonight, maybe looking through an old coffee can of coins your grandparents left behind. That penny you've ignored for decades could be the key to a life-changing discovery. And don't assume this only happens to lucky people. The reason so many $1 million coins are found in everyday places is simple. Most people don't know they're supposed to look. They miss the signs, the microscopic details, and those who pay attention are the ones who strike gold. Collectors were shocked when that Colorado penny surfaced. They had been convinced that batch was lost forever. Now the race is on, because experts believe no more than a handful of these flawed 1976 pennies exist. 1 penny. A single cent worth over $1.6 million because of a quiet mistake at the Denver Mint nearly 5 decades ago. And here's the emotional part. These coins aren't hidden in vaults or elite collections. They're in circulation. They've been spent at gas stations, tossed in tip jars, given as change in grocery stores. That's why your eyes, your curiosity, are your greatest treasure hunting tools. If you've ever dreamed of finding a life-changing coin, this is the moment. Start with your 1976 pennies. Look for the doubling. Examine the alignment. Pay attention to those faint shadows that most people ignore. Yes, a simple 1994 Lincoln penny. A coin you've probably handled 100 times. But this one had a secret, a microscopic imperfection that turned it into one of the most sought-after treasures in the coin world. In 1994, the Denver Mint was producing billions of Lincoln pennies. Routine, precise, flawless, or so they thought. But in a flurry of production, a batch of pennies left the mint carrying a subtle flaw. A misaligned die. A strike so minor, so elusive, that even seasoned collectors missed it. But that tiny, almost invisible anomaly is now the reason why this penny is worth $1 million fortune. A retired veteran, sorting through his late father's coin jar, stumbled upon a peculiar 1994 penny. It didn't scream valuable. It didn't sparkle. But something just didn't look right. The rim was slightly off. The lettering seemed barely shifted. Could it be a misstrike? He took it to a local coin dealer, expecting a shrug. Under magnification, the truth was undeniable. This penny had a rotated die alignment error, a minting mishap so rare that only a handful had ever surfaced. It was a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, hiding in plain sight. And when it hit auction, bidding wars ignited. The final hammer price? $1.7 million. But here's where it gets even more unbelievable. Experts believe dozens more of these era pennies are still out there, quietly sitting in old jars, dresser drawers, or even your pocket change. Dealers are on high alert. Collectors are scouring every 1994 penny they find. Why? Because of one tiny detail that most people miss: the rotational misalignment. Hold a 1994 penny upright, Lincoln facing you. Flip it vertically top to bottom. On a normal penny, the Lincoln memorial on the back will be perfectly aligned, straight and proud. But on this rare error, the reverse design is slightly rotated, sometimes by as little as 5 to 15 degrees. It's not obvious. You have to really look. But that rotation is what turns an ordinary cent into a life-changing treasure. And here's a warning: many people mistake worn-down pennies or weak strikes for this error. Don't be fooled. It's not about scratches or dents. It's that telltale twist when you flip it over. Collectors were shocked when the first one surfaced. Dealers are now offering cash rewards just for the chance to inspect fresh finds. Every time a new 1994 penny shows rotation, the numismatic community holds its breath, wondering, could this be another $1 million surprise? The original batch that caused this error was never fully accounted for. That means right now, in circulation, there are still unknown numbers of these coins quietly moving from hand to hand, hiding in penny rolls, coin jars, even in vending machine change. And yet, most people never check. They let these rare coins slip away, unaware that a $1 million discovery might be jingling in their pockets. The man who sold his penny for $1.7 million? He said the moment he realized what he had, his hands were trembling. His voice cracked when he told his wife. A single coin, worth more than their entire house. Their lives changed, overnight. Take this as your sign to look closer. Every time you see a 1994 penny, flip it. Check that alignment. Look for that subtle rotation. Because history has proven that these tiny flaws create massive fortunes. You see, the 1982 Lincoln penny holds a secret so rare, even most seasoned collectors have never seen it with their own eyes. It's a coin born out of a mistake, a silent error that turned a simple cent into a life-changing treasure. Back in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a monumental change. They switched from solid copper pennies to cheaper zinc versions coated in copper. This shift was supposed to be flawless, clean, controlled. But it wasn't. Amidst the frenzy of production, a small batch of 1982 pennies slipped through the cracks. These coins, missing a mint mark, were accidentally struck on solid copper planchets, the old, heavy kind. They weren't supposed to exist. But they do. One lucky collector found his in a jar of pennies that had been sitting untouched for over a decade. He thought it was just another coin, until he weighed it. That penny, after authentication, stormed into an auction and shattered expectations. The final bid? Over $1.8 million. A single penny. A life flipped upside down in a heartbeat. It's not just the date. It's not just a missing mint mark. It's the rare combination of being struck on a copper planchet during a year when nearly all was ink. And this tiny difference is why it's worth millions. And most people miss it. Dealers are now on high alert, scrambling to locate any 1982 pennies that defy the odds. The treasure hunt is real. Because the chances of pulling one of these from a coin roll, a forgotten drawer, or even a vending machine refund slot, are still alive. A retired veteran, going through his granddaughter's piggy bank, finds a 1982 penny. He almost gives it to her to spend on candy. But something feels off. He remembers hearing about the weight trick. Grabs a simple kitchen scale. And there it is. That penny now sits safely in a vault, awaiting its auction date. Experts predict it will cross the $1 million mark, easily. There could be dozens more out there. In jars. Under couch cushions. Hiding in plain sight. Because this isn't just another coin story. This is a wake-up call. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity hiding in your own pocket change. Most people never bother to look. But the ones who do, sometimes stumble upon a miracle. Some 1982 pennies look exactly like the valuable ones, but they're not. Why? Because they're made of zinc. The only way to know is to weigh them. If your 1982 no-mint mark penny weighs 3.11 grams, congratulations, you might be holding a copper strike worth up to $1.8 million. There's another detail most people overlook: the surface tone. The copper versions often have a deeper, richer hue. They age differently. They carry a warmth the zinc ones can't mimic. But don't trust your eyes alone. Trust the weight. And here's a secret from top coin experts: check your loose change, but don't ignore those old penny jars from the 80s and 90s. That's where these hidden gems love to hide. Collectors were shocked when one penny pulled from a bankroll ended up paying for an entire college tuition. Dealers are now offering thousands just for a chance to inspect a heavy 1982 no-mint mark penny. And every month, more stories surface of people turning a forgotten coin into a financial windfall. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. So here's my challenge to you: go check. Don't wait. Because life-changing discoveries don't knock on your door. You have to dig for them. And when you find that special penny, the coin that millions are hunting for, you'll have your own $1 million miracle story to tell. If you want more hidden coin secrets like this, subscribe and turn on the notifications. Your next coin treasure could be just a video away.